أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على محمد وعلى الطيبين الطاهرين. Salam Aleykum, dear brothers and sisters. This is the Quranic Human, and in this video we're talking about the divine guidance. In our previous video we talked about the close relationship between Allah and humans, and we asked a question. If we are so close to Allah, how is it possible to ignore His presence? We are going to discuss it in a minute, but before that, let's see the general Quranic point of view regarding guidance. We usually assume that a lot of information is needed if someone wants to find the right path and follow the divine guidance. Although it's not completely wrong, the Holy Quran states that all humans have a God-given understanding of evil and good, which will guide them towards happiness if they listen to it. In Surah Shams, verse 7 and 8, Allah says,
وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. By the soul and Him who perfected it and inspired it with knowledge of evil and piety, or Taqva. According to these verses, all humans, due to their perfect creation, have a general understanding of evil and good, which means even illiterate, uncivilized people know that whether they do good or bad, whether they're keeping their taqwa or simply losing it. And we may say that this understanding comes from our God-given souls, or let's say the holy aspect of our reality. But does this intrinsic knowledge means that all humans will follow the divine guidance? Apparently no, because the Quran itself continues these verses as follows. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Anyone who purifies himself will prosper, while whoever neglects to do so will be deprived of happiness. When a gardener looks after a plant to help it grow smoothly and well, they use the verb zakka. According to this verse, human soul is like a plant that needs careful attention to grow well and normal. The verb dassa is used when something is hidden among other things, and according to this verse, if we neglect ourselves and let it be lost and hidden among other things, we will lose the final happiness. Now, if we put all these verses together, we can conclude that growing as a happy, healthy human depends on how well we look after our souls by keeping taqwa and being in the right path. And if we neglect our souls by doing evil, we will simply lose our true selves and bury down our precious souls. Do you remember how we explained Taqwa in our previous videos? Right, respecting Allah's presence. So, according to these verses, if we respect Allah's presence, we will grow our souls and reach final happiness. As we have already explained, Allah is not separable from our hearts and souls, and maybe that's why respecting His presence is connected to looking after our own souls and reaching final happiness. Let's make it shorter. If we respect our God-given souls, or let's say the holy aspect of our realities, which tells us what's wrong and what's right, we will reach true and final happiness. But if we somehow ignore it, which means to neglect Allah's presence too, nothing but agony and pain will await us. But how is it possible to forget a part of our own reality? How can we ignore Allah's presence, the one who is so close to us, and why should we do so? The short answer is that we can't pay attention to too many things at a time. For example, when we are fully focused on a hard task, we usually don't have any idea what's going around us. When you are driving in a crowded street, usually you don't pay attention to the shops by the sides of the street. So, if we carefully look at our own daily lives, we'll agree that it's completely possible to ignore the presence of a reality due to the circumstances. In many cases, Allah and our souls stand at the end of the queue to receive our attention. So, what does stand in the first row to have the lion's share of our attention? As we have already explained, it's our passions and desires. And even worse, when remembering Allah or our souls bars us from enjoying our passions, we simply ignore them to fully enjoy ourselves. The Holy Quran explains the reason behind denying the hereafter and the day of judgment in Surah Qiyamah, verse 5.
بل يريد الإنسان ليفجر أمامه.
Rather, man desires to continue on as a libertine. Now, let's ask a new question. Didn't we say that Allah is in our hearts? So, why is it that what our hearts wants, or let's say our passions and desires, so different from what Allah wants? Inshallah, we'll answer this question in our next video. May Allah bless you all and see you.